The Green Lantern Season 2 Issue 4 finds Hal Jordan in an unknown wild world, asking his ring what happened. The ring says that there is a story to tell, as the shocked Hal asks where Central City went. Earlier, Hal meets with the Flash, who is sorry he is late. Hal doesn't care, knowing that being late is part of Barry's brand. The two hug and Barry wonders when was the last time Hal showed up on Earth, and Hal knows it's been rough on Earth, but Barry says that maybe next time his invitation to meet should come with a trigger warning, since in the museum are statues of giant yellow men that he and Wally fought in the early days of their careers. Hal talks about the recent meltdown or crisis, apologizing for not being there, but Barry knows that he was off saving the universe elsewhere, so he can empathize, and Wally has faced tough times before, so he'll come through as well. Barry tells him to forget about it, intending on introducing Hal to someone that he actually met in the museum as well. Hal talks on, but then realizes Barry was saying something as he is introduced to a nearby woman, not knowing if she remembers from the last time, and it's a pure coincidence that she is there. Barry reintroduces Hal to Olivia Reynolds, his old girlfriend, who remembers Hal very well. Hal is happy that the Empress of Toyland is getting on well, as she notes that he's been hitting the gym. Olivia talks about her and the Golden Giant exhibit and how it's been a big hit, being that it's about the missing Link warriors who defended Earth from an invading alien force. Hal knows the Giant warriors are a little too low tech for cool accessories, hence why Olivia drummed up a story about them fighting aliens. Olivia is impressed as she heads off to find the museum director, letting the two super policemen get to work on why priceless exhibits are starting to disappear, all centered around a giant fingerprint exhibit. She knows the museum can deal with pranksters, but if these golden giants are the real deal, then they have claim to merch rights and they need to deal with this now. Suddenly, one of the exhibits behind Olivia opens and a golden hand reaches through a portal, grabbing the woman. In the present, Hal is confronted by a clockwork pterodactyl, which his ring decides to call a technodactyl. Hal throws the being into space, finding it all to be synthetic, including the moon, and how Earth is seemingly now reverted back to the supercontinent Pangaea. The ring says that this isn't Earth or the past, but they are 25,000 light years away from Earth in the Perseus arm of the galactic spiral, and this planet is someone's toy. Hal knows that Barry is going to love the idea of a full-scale working model of primordial Earth, as Olivia meanwhile awakens, only to find the Flash is stuck in a machine that is spinning him like a top. Knowing it's similar to the tricks he used to use, he is able to phase out of the machine, but finds himself dizzy. Reuniting with Olivia, Barry asks how she knew Hal, knowing that they were both sales reps at a rival toy company, but she knows that's hardly worth talking about now when there are golden giants towering over them nearby. Flash notes they seem to be waiting for something, and Olivia should take cover as he spots an infant golden giant who demands to play with all his new weird toys until they are broken, and these toys now include Flash and Olivia. Hal meanwhile demands his ring explains the weird godlike beings in front of him. The beings call him a trespasser and demand he come with them, firing a strange beam at Hal that rips his head apart from the inside. Hal agrees to go with them as the golden infant continues to yell about playing with Flash and Olivia until they are broken. The two humans realize that this is some insane court, and they are on trial for exceeding the speed of light. Flash finds that all ridiculous as they are found guilty of the supposed crimes, told that they interfered with a pristine world and now they are to be exterminated. The beings disrupt Flash's vibrations, beginning to pull his molecules apart as Olivia tells him to stop, saying that she is recording all of this on her phone and telling them that they don't know it yet, but they now work for her as she is the Empress of Toyland. The beings argue as Hal arrives, disrupting their meeting and telling Flash to pull himself together, quite literally. Flash does so, hoping that Hal has a plan, but Hal doesn't do plans. But Barry makes great plans though. The infant calls its toys together to attack as Hal says that the moons above them aren't moons, and this is an invasion force. Flash knows that they can copy whole planets, knowing that they are very high up on the Kardashev scale. The infant says that the humans have to complete 3 trials, and as they fight off the toys, Flash wants to know if they are fighting an arbitrary rule of an ancient civilization or a civilization degraded so much into ritual and absurdity. Hal knows his past battles with people like Zundernel were barely coherent like this one, but he knows when the colonists left Earth, the golden giants that were left behind were all left mindless, so maybe Earth affects their brains differently to them. Olivia warns them that the portal is getting bigger, and Hal knows that things just got real, since an Omega scale culture disguised as Toy Town is on a planetary decontamination bender and it's trying to get to Earth. Hal plans on combating the 3 trials and showing these Type Omegas what it's like where they come from. So Hal's ring offers him a new battery rule, allowing him to create constructs with no limit to the scale, aside from the strength of his will. The beings energize their decontamination fleet as Flash tells Olivia the beings have to give the humans 3 tests to challenge what they pose and where a human's breakpoint is. He doesn't want the woman to be involved, but right now they need the U-Mind she has access to. Hal meanwhile uses his new powers to conjure up a pool cue the size of galaxies, using it to hit the destroyer moons around as Flash battles the golden beings themselves, saying one warrior has taken out all of their moonships from the sky. The beings say that this is only one as they strike down Flash, causing Barry to say that it's all down to Olivia now. Olivia doesn't remember what the U-Mind is, but know it sounds familiar, learning that Hal had to erase her memory. She suddenly remembers the power, unleashing a small portion of it onto the beings before confronting Hal for what he did. Hal knows that they have been through this before, and suddenly she realizes that she talked these beings down from invading Earth. Hal wants to leave as Flash begins dismantling the portal, but Olivia hangs back for a minute to get one last picture, since there's no way she is forgetting any of this. With the final photo, Olivia is able to restart the exhibit, cashing in on the designs for the golden giant world she has created. Barry warns Hal that Olivia is now more powerful than all of them, and Hal knows that if she ever became fully conscious of her U-Mind, then worlds will die and so shall she. So she can never know what she has access to. Barry says that Iris called and hopes that they can reschedule their team up, and Hal needed to head off to deal with alien activity anyway, but their current adventure was a blast. He also promises to explain to the curator about why the art in the exhibit is now reduced to scrap. Hal tells Barry that he's going to be late, and as the Flash heads off, he becomes frozen in place. Hal's ring tells him of an extraterrestrial activity nearby as the Guardians appear, warning Hal to be careful since there is a Galactic Plus class super destroyer in his vicinity, and on Trombus he killed the Lantern Vray with his bare hands. As a mild-mannered man watches Hal, he learns the target is behind him, but it's too late as Hyperwoman grabs him, saying that they all have to die sometime and it's nothing personal. The Green Lantern Season 2 Issue 4 continued Hal's team-up streak in an absolutely fucking weird and wonderful way that not only had callbacks to some deep-cut Green Lantern lore stuff, but also allowed artist Liam Sharp to flex his weirdo muscles with creature designs and just utterly weird page layouts. I absolutely love that we can have a weird team-up story and have it be its own thing, but also have parts of that tie into the larger story of Hyperman and Hyperwoman coming after Hal and the Lanterns and trying to murder them, which I am looking forward to getting into next issue, as well as maybe set up for a future plotline with Olivia and her U-Mind, maybe her finding out and getting out of control with it, so that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to seeing much more of that. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10.